Hello and welcome back to the TVBinges.com Pilot Roundtable, a Southgate Media Group podcast. I'm Kyle Tremblay, the editor of TVBinges.com, and I am joined as always by a fellow TV Binges writer. She's storming off the set of the sitcom she's starring in. It's Olivia Richards! Hello!
Hey, I think that's slowly going to become us this week.
Yeah, no, we're gonna storm off the pod. One of us is gonna have a meltdown on this podcast.
I'm waiting. Let's just wait till Friday when that can really be amped up.
Oh my gosh, by Friday it's gonna be an apocalypse scenario here on the podcast. This is premiere week, and we are talking about what I would dare call the most heavily hyped premiere of the entire season. It is NBC's emotional heartstrings-pulling drama, This Is Us. Olivia, what did you think?
I felt all of my feelings.
Felt the feelings?
Of an hour. I have so many feelings happening right now. Yeah.
You were hit by the feels.
The full spectrum of feels.
So this is a show that follows a number of people who seem to be disconnected, but over the course of this hour is revealed to have a variety of connections. And they are all turning 36. That's the commonality. And it's sort of a... we've seen this format a couple times. I can't think of the names of the shows because they've all been canceled. But kind of like where we're doing 5-minute look-ins on various stories, and we're just going back and forth. And the sort of calling card of this show is that it is very emotional, and the stories are definitely designed to make you cry.
Yep.
So, Olivia, what was your cry scorecard? Did this pilot make you cry?
Oh God, just the scene where they lost the baby and he has to explain. God. Like, I'm really glad I'm watching this alone, because nobody would have been able to handle that.
Let me just back up a second, and you said the scene where they lost the baby. This is a pilot, so we are already getting into, like, a real hardcore territory here.
I was not excited. I mean, I was based on it,
I know.
But that hit.
The old
really fast.
The old folksy doctor telling the husband...
God.
And he lost one of his 3 triplets?
What the hell?
What is happening? Like, NBC is aiming a Robin Hood style bow and arrow right at our hearts and firing. I guess, like, expand on your thoughts in this one. Like, what did you like about it? What worked for you? Or did you like it, I guess, in general?
I think that the show did really well with forming the audience's emotional connection with each of the separate storylines, which is really hard to do in an ensemble cast, but I felt very distinctly connected to each of the individual storylines. Like, a lot of times what happens with an ensemble comedy or drama or something like that is that you get kind of particularly attached to just one story and everything else kind of falls into place. But with this one, I felt really compelled by each of the characters in each of their own settings, which I thought was really cool and unique. I thought the twist at the end was incredible. I wasn't expecting that. And the only thing that I wasn't sure about, because I thought the only connection and commonality was that they were all 20 or 36 years old. And I thought that was kind of stupid. That wouldn't have made a lot of sense. But now that they formed that twist at the end and made that the basis of the kind of thread that connects all of these characters, I am really excited moving forward.
Do you want to walk us through what that twist at the end was? As always, there's a spoiler alert for this podcast, so
yes. So you find out that Mandy Moore and her husband in the show are actually the parents of the other characters. So they exist in the past, and then you see all of the twins grow up, and we're following them in the future.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Like, we are introducing some, like, not time travel, but sort of show time travel. That we are existing in multiple time streams, amazingly.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? Like, that is a, you know, I know I've made this criticism of other pilots before, where I always say, like, the pilot is the episode of a show that creators have the most time to prepare for. You know, like, if the pilot of a show is sloppy, then that is a terrible sign. because they have had all this time in general. So there are exceptions, but in general, like, you've had tons of time to write the episode. You've had tons of time to think about the characters. You've gone through the whole casting process. This isn't like a compressed time frame compared to the rest of how TV is. You gotta nail at least the structure of the pilot. And this, I think, was a great example of how to structure a surprise in the pilot, and how to really, just turn the audience on its head and like deliver a gut punch after about 50 gut punches were delivered throughout the hour.
Oh god, it was relentless.
Yeah, but I think what you said was really smart about, and hit the nail on the head about how every character you immediately felt attached to. I think the show did a really good job of making all the stories feel instantly personal and making all the characters very sympathetic instantly. All these very different characters, I instantly had sympathy for them. And I think that's a big thing, because you don't want a situation where you stop paying attention when the show shifts, because the show is constantly shifting between them. You don't want to have a dead spot in there. Everyone kind of has to pull their weight. And I mean, to be completely honest, I was ready to hate this show.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of show that I don't like. Because I'm just not that interested in shows where the express purpose is to make the audience cry. Like, I'm just not, like, to me, you tell a great story, and if the audience feels emotional based on that story, then that's awesome. But I'm like, I was never into Parenthood for this reason. Like, when I feel like the entire show, or Red Band Society on Fox, like, yep. When the entire show exists in order to create moments where the audience is supposed to cry, I am out. And I think it is a testament to the quality of this pilot that I might have teared up a bit at the old folksy doctor telling the father that he lost one of his children. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like that was so, like, oh god.
I did not come here for this, but then I stayed for it, and it hurt, and now I'm just gonna lay on the floor for a few hours.
No.
Process everything.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there is a degree of, like, emotional manipulation, because that's the purpose of the show. Like, there's no other story to tell, really. But then they're kind of, based on that reveal at the end, there kind of is. Like, I really thought this was just going to be, people connected by being 36, which, like you said, is dumb.
Yeah.
But that was a red herring that the show put out in its marketing. And how rare is it in movies and TV that the trailer of a show doesn't spoil the twist? Like, nowadays, it's like everything is in the trailer. And in this trailer, they purposely made it look kind of dumb in order to hide the very sort of savvy and clever connection. And I got to tip my hat to them. I mean, that is some balls by NBC. And for me, at least, it paid off, because I really liked this show. And I honestly can't imagine someone not liking this. It was just of such a high quality.
No, exactly. And I like what you said about a lot of shows doing, like, the emotional manipulation route. And what I loved about the show was that it just allowed you to naturally feel what you were going to feel for these characters. Like, it never kind of spoon-fed you, well, you should be feeling this, like, get ready to cry. And then if you don't, you're like, okay, well, I guess I suck. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. It all rang true. And I wish I could vocalize why that is the case, and why other shows that have tried this don't. Like, I think the maybe the most ridiculous example, and this wasn't a show that was trying to make us cry, but it was trying to make us feel invested, is our old favorite, The Slap.
Oh, God.
Which was a show that was trying to be very hyper serious and make us think, in the way that, like, American Crime succeeded at that. The Slap failed more spectacularly than any show in recent memory. But it's like, that's what happens when this kind of show making goes wrong. And having said that, having called it serious, like, there were also funny moments.
Oh yeah.
There was also, like, the very first scene with the husband and his wife, who we now know exist in the past, interacting, was very charming and funny. And there's the great scene when the the man who just brought his father back to meet his grandkids starts laughing uncontrollably. Like, there were just a lot of really, like, smile moments in addition to the just ugly tears moments.
Oh, right. And I need to just special mention the scene where the actor storms out, because that was such a self-aware moment for the network and for the show to add that in. And oh my God, I was just bowing down the entire time watching it.
Do you feel like CBS right now is scrapping production of a show called The Manny? Like, I felt like that was a shot across the bow at CBS, because that is exactly the kind of CBS comedy that would premiere.
God, right. They're like, crap, we can't air it anymore.
Yeah, right. It just seemed like, I think NBC was poking a little bit of fun at, like, you know, shows like The Big Bang Theory and sort of the Two and a Half Men, like the traditional CBS sitcom.
Right.
But yeah, man, just a lot of great moments. A lot of great moments, and it's only the pilot. Like,
right, I'm just so happy. I feel joy, which doesn't happen often on network shows that we, talk about. Joy
and sadness, but the kind of good sadness. Not the kind of sadness that a lot of these pilots make us feel. So this premiered at a 2.8 demo rating with 10 million viewers. That demo number is the biggest demo number for a major network drama since Supergirl last year. It's not a mega hit. We're not talking like Empire numbers, but it is a hit, I would say. Which pretty much, I think this was your pick to be the biggest hit of the season.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're probably on track with that. Nothing is really, nothing has gone Empire yet. So we'll see.
Very few things can.
Very few things can. Yes, very true. So anyway, those are very encouraging numbers for an NBC premiere. Do you think this one will be canceled quickly, make it through the season, or renewed for another season?
I'm expecting it to go on for a second season, if not more.
Yeah, me too. I think NBC found itself a hit. So your final verdict, Olivia, thumbs up or thumbs down on This Is Us?
This is going to be, I think, the most enthusiastic thumbs up I'm going to give for the fall 2016 season.
Yeah, I mean, mine will still belong to The Good Place. Another NBC show. Good start to the season for NBC, by the way.
Right?
Things might crash and burn here shortly based on the lineup they have coming up.
We jinxed it.
So far, it is a very good start for NBC, because my two favorite shows by a mile are This Is Us and The Good Place, and they both are on the Peacock Network. This is a big thumbs up for me as well. So you've been listening to the Pilot Roundtable, a TVBinges.com and Southgate Media Group production. You can listen to all of our episodes on iTunes, where you can rate and review us. We'd appreciate that. Or find us at SouthgateMediaGroup.com. Follow Olivia on Twitter at RickiesOlivia, and me on Twitter at KyleLovesTV. Until next time.